Everyone, I gotta let you know, the boys here at the Ridge Avenue Sanitarium, they're redoing the place. They're actually going to give us a new kitchen. So basically it's going to be grub, cooked in a nice place. It still tastes like crap. So, tonight, the little warrior and I turned on Netflix, which I paid for, none of that stuff, right? And we watched The Irishman, which is a story of Frank Sheeran, right? Who was a mob member, and he came from the homeland, Derby Borough. Lots of scenes about Philadelphia. You had Angelo Bruno, you had Chicken Man Testa, you had all the mob guys from the late 70s, early 80s. And if you were old as I am, growing up in the neighborhood back in the day, like it seemed every other day, a Philly mob guy was getting shot. All right? So, point beside the point. The story of how he became friends with Jimmy Hoffa, right? And how he took care of Jimmy at the end.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, right? So, I have to let you know this, that the Papa Warrior, the old father himself, he was somebody who did bill collections and bail bonds. And knew Mr. Sheeran. Right? Let me tell you something. Right? Lots of good stories about him. But he always used to say, oh yeah, that's the guy who killed Jimmy Hoffa. Right? Well, you know, what are you going to do? But it was something I grew up with, I sort of knew. That's beside the point. So anyway, talks about his whole evolution, right? And he paints houses. What do you mean when you paint the house? Well, basically when you paint a house, it's when he's taking a gun to somebody's head, platting the blood against the wall. House painting. Right? And you know how hard is it to get blood off a wall? Right? Look what they're doing to this place. Right? Because the food's so bad, some of us inmates kind of like took care of the staff. Hence, they got to fix the walls. But beside the point, the movie was really good, really slow. Right? Al Pacino was great. De Niro was great. Right? It was one of the... And Joe Pesci. How can you not love Joe Pesci? Joe Pesci in this movie was fantastic. And not very often you get three actors, mob actors of that caliber together, right, to do a movie. And it 3 hours long, right? Granted, I slept through the last hour the first time I saw it. Second time I saw it, right, I went right to that part and watched the end. Right, I'm old. Shut up! But the movie was really, really good. And basically you're watching him go from being this guy who was like driving a meat truck, right? A lot of meat truck things, reference back to Rocky and all that. Driving a meat truck and how he screwed over somebody and then they go get him and da-da-da-da-da-da. He starts climbing with the mob and the Teamsters and all that. Not that they're linked together, right? And what happens at the end, right? Jimmy Hoffa is being a putz, right? And the mob didn't want him in there anymore. And there was one line in there that said, well, if they killed the president, I think they'll kill the president of the Teamsters. And that's what happened. So, they didn't show it where they buried Jimmy in the end zone of the Meadowlands, but I'm sure that'll be coming up in, you know, The Irishman Part 2. Everybody, what do I give? I give that actually 4.5 Skulls of My Enemies, right? Really good. It's on Netflix, so you already paid for it. Watch it. Take 3 hours out of your silly little lives and watch it. Meanwhile, I'm the Mad Darbarian. I'm out.